Barbara's winning right now. That's weird. That's not right. Believe me, all we need is one more degree and I'm going to take it out for the week. I really, really am. Weatherman, 14 degrees, doesn't know what he's talking about. He also said it's going to be clear. Well, it's an absolute blinder, so he threw a 50% chance at the board this morning. Friday, May 28th, and you're right here at Galaxy. Got to welcome everybody along that's on Facebook this morning. Nice to have you guys joining us, and believe me, you're going to absolutely love today's show. You really are. If you're going to be watching a little later on over there on YouTube, you know what to do, right? Excuse me. You do. You really do. You know, sub, thumb, bell. Bingo. Yeah. Bell notifications for when we have important people like what we have today. Yes, Jack from the band Brice Street Band is joining us, coming out of North Carolina. And believe me, you know about them. But first of all, let me do this.
Galaxy 107fm.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and believe me, absolutely elated to bring Brice Street Band to the world. Here we are with Character Flaws on Galaxy. So we'll go live to the desk after the song, and I've got to warn you, I don't ask the rigid 12 questions that everybody asks, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And as I said to one lady the other day, I says, you know, I really don't want to know what you would want to take with you on a desert island if you're going to get stuck. And I don't want to know if it includes batteries. Well, I've had somebody say that to me. If I'm going to get stuck on a desert island, I'm going to, yeah, with batteries.
Oh,
Yeah, okay. Nice, good
I
thought,
wouldn't even have
thanks.
thought of that.
Well, really? Okay.
Can opener, maybe.
Yeah, can opener? Sure.
That'd be handy.
Yeah.
You answered a question I had for you guys.
Okay.
When you're talking about temperature in your weather, you're Celsius instead of Fahrenheit. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. You guys are Fahrenheit, aren't you?
Right. If you were going to ask me how hot it was here today, I'd say it's 84 degrees.
Oh, well, that's
But
not bad. We're at 86.9 inside the office here.
Okay.
So
Is
that's
that
not bad.
Fahrenheit or Celsius?
That's Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Believe me, if it was Celsius, we'd be on
come
fire
on.
now.
Right.
We would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, really would. I got to let you know, Jack, that it's absolutely not easy getting an interview here, and a number of reasons. First reason is that Barbara gets between 30 and 50 bands a day getting in touch with her, wanting to do the interviews, wanting to do the promotions, play them on the radio, the whole gambit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've also got to let you know that being a friend of Terry's sort of got you that further in than most people would get.
I'm very
But
I should make it.
Barbara structures these because we only have a certain amount of time in a week to be able to do these interviews, you know what I mean? And she's got to crunch all this down and then take it to production, and Barbara sort of fine-tune that again. Then it goes to a board. Any given board meeting, it could be between 10, 12, 8 kind of, members in there. Their only thing is it's got to be good. It's about our image. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then Barbara brings it to me on a USB kind of deal that I play in my car. And there's a couple of reasons for that, Jack. I got to let you know. First reason is I get no information in my car about it. I don't get a title of a song, a band, or a singer, anything like that. Just the music. And believe me, I've got a kick-ass stereo in my car. So therefore I can listen to it and nobody else can influence my decision on whether I want to do the interview. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other reason is nobody else wants to drive with me. They just don't. They kind of think going sideways is weird. Which it isn't, because, Barbara's son is a New Zealand champion car racer, and same with her grandson. And, I go out in the forestry and take the car for a sideways spin every now and again. It's a lot of fun. Let's go to the desk, my friend. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and well, it is an absolute pleasure to have everybody on board. Terry Van Cannon has joined us this morning, and well, I got to agree with you, Terry. Yes, absolutely fantastic. He's like a machine, isn't he, on the drums? Really is. Moreover, he's a vocalist as well. How do you, Jack, explain this to me? How do you play the drums and be able to be a lead vocalist at the same time?
Well, I started playing when I was 11. Me and some friends saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, like a lot of musicians. That was the catalyst. Let's start a band. And I picked up the drums and learned how to get going on the drums. And then when we went, well, who's going to sing? And I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. So I was able to do that at the very beginning when I was 11 years old. And so to me, they have always been, I really can't pull them apart from one another. It's the same thing. It's the same process. They're entangled,
I got to be honest with you, Jack. I find it hard myself, just feeding myself some mornings, to be honest with you, rather than being able to get down the rhythm, get the feet going. Do you play double bass? Do you double?
I have in the past, but I don't now. At my age, I try to pare it down and get it closer to me and make it as simple as possible.
Believe me, my friend, I fully understand. I really, really do. But then to throw that extra little bit in there and being a lead singer as well, absolutely stunning. Really, really is. Roy Brown's in the house. Nice to have you with us. Brian Smith is with us. Brother,
right.
Nice to have you on board. And somebody said to me the other day, you're having Brice Street Band on. Yes, historic North Carolinians. Really, part of history right there. And it's an absolute pleasure, sir, to be able to bring you and your band to Galaxy 107 FM. Right now, 74 countries around the world are tuned in, and 180 cities around the world tuned in to us, listening to our interview this morning. So, but wow. At the end of the day, Jack, it's only you and me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm zoned in with you, buddy.
There you go. And, well, okay, everybody else in the room as well. And you guys making faces in the fishbowl. Yeah, okay. So it's only you and me, Jack. Don't worry about it. But in the meantime, Jack, as a fan, and I got a fan question for you, how do we get in touch with you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? But more importantly, Jack, do you respond?
Yeah. We right now we have a Facebook page. That's the band's name, Brice Street Band, and then we have a website that is bricestreetband.com, all lowercase, straight on through.
Nice.
And that's where we sell our CD.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that. Can we buy or acquire merchandise on there as well, and also CD stuff like that? Because believe me, after this, you never know, you might sell a koozie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Koozies.
Okay, well, maybe you won't then.
Okay.
But if you got t-shirts, something like that, well,
we did.
Nice. And believe me, here's a good idea. In fact, today I'm wearing a Kiwi Band's t-shirt. Literally. Laconic Zephyr, good friends of ours. Got to say hi to Karma as well. Really do. But believe me, you'll be surprised, Jack, how many people who watch these interviews get on the interwebby thing and they see who I'm wearing. Before you know it, you may have sold a guitar pick or two. You know what I mean?
Okay. Would you like me to ship you a couple of t-shirts?
Well, I tell you what, I'll get Barbara to send you all the details of that stuff. But moreover, if you've got a few dozen spare CDs, how would you like to throw those in? We can do a giveaway. Keep Brice Street rolling here at Galaxy.
Okay, absolutely.
Would love to do that. And a little later on, I'm going to ask a little something special of you, because we would love to be able to get a voiceover, a stinger, something like that, saying, hi, it's Jack from Brice Street. You're listening to Galaxy. Something like that we can add here we want to be able to keep Brice Street rolling, you know what I mean? And keep that name in people's ears.
Yeah, all right. I love it.
Like that. Thank you very, very much. Now, Jack, we started it off with character flaws. Tell us all about it. How did you come to the lyrics of that?
I can't speak for the writer of that song is Barry Webb. He's our keyboard player. And he brought the demo in very, very close to the way the final recording ended up. He's a multi-instrumentalist and writer. I think he wrote 5 of the songs. We co-wrote 1, and I wrote 4. But he sang on the demo, and our vocal styles are a little different. His is a little less blues inflected or rock inflected. And when I heard that song, I went to him and I said, Barry, you have got to let me sing this song. And he said, okay, on the recording. So I just took it from there and did it in my own way, you know. But Barry is very aware of his own character flaws, and that is the genesis of those lyrics. Yeah.
I understand. I really, really do. Because believe me, it was the very first song that I heard of yours when Barbara gave me all the little bits and pieces on her USB thing that she gives me. And straight away I thought, you know, this is interesting. Now, I've got to let you know, Jack, I've been an engineer, not only studio, but front of house for almost about 40 years. You're a little bit shy of it. So I've learnt maybe how to be able to turn the machine on by now. You know what I mean? Toured around the world with a number of bands as well. I've got to be honest with you, quite interesting bands. And when I first heard Brice Street, I literally pulled my car over, set it back again, had another listen to it and thought, you know, this is an interesting band. Really want to know a little bit more about it. That's why we are doing the interview, if you know what I mean. Because I absolutely found something in there, because I don't listen to music as a fan would listen to it. I'm an engineer. I try and break it down and figure it out and how it was done. Who did the producing? What kind of producer he was, and who did the mastering kind of deal. You know what I mean? So I'm always interested in that. So we're coming up with Christina, and I'm going to talk to you about that. But where did you get your work produced? What recording studio was it?
Well, so Barry, the fellow I just mentioned, who wrote Character Flaws, he was one of the original members of the band. We did 2 albums, regional albums, in 1980 and 1983 here in North Carolina, that we did not, produce or engineer ourselves, and Barry was unhappy with the way the sound came out. And he subsequently left the band and went into the recording business, working for an ad agency and learning his way around the board, around the machines, etc., engineering the mics, the whole thing. And so we were separated basically professionally for up until about 7 years ago. And but we were still, we ran into each other in different places, and at some point we were a trio with Jack King and Doug on bass and me on drums, playing a little bit. And I just walked up, approached him and said, you ought to come play with us sometime. And he said, I'd love to. He came back and started playing with us, and on the first 2 albums, he and I had written most of the material. Yay, those many years ago. And so once he was back in the band, after a year or so, he said, I got some songs I want to bring in. And I said, great, bring them in. So he started bringing stuff in. And I said, we ought to make a record. And he said, that was my intention when I got back in the band, was to make the record we always should have made. And I'm going to make it sound the way we should sound. And Barry engineered, mixed, mastered the whole thing, edited everything. Did an amazing job, in my opinion.
Well, I got to be honest with you, Jack. As an engineer, please pass on to Barry my respects, because I can't fault the work. I absolutely love the job he's done. And well done, Barry. Literally, that's fantastic. It really is. Now, having said that, we're going to talk about Christina. Now, tell me a little bit about this.
About the song?
Yes.
Well, I had those lyrics floating around for, I don't want to say how long. And they were inspired by a real person that was an acquaintance of mine and many, many people in Greensboro. She's unfortunately deceased now, but she was a real character. This was not a real situation, but it's one that I imagined her starring in, and just went with it that way. You know, saw the effect she had on people when she was dancing and in a crowd and stuff like that. But we were acquaintances, and that was it.
That's fantastic. It really is. So right here at Galaxy, joined by Jack, live from the band, yes, Brice Street from North Carolina. Here's Christina. How you feeling, Jack? You okay?
Yeah, feeling great.
Nice. You don't need a tall, stiff drink or anything yet?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. By the way, if you need a therapist, I know a couple too, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in fact, one's in your area. Yes. Yep. It is. What band was he from?
What are you talking about?
Dr.
The therapist guy.
Yeah, the therapist guy, the criminologist. I've forgotten what his name is now. Gosh, that's unreal.
Really? He's one of those
Terry,
Canadians.
can you tell
No.
Grant off and
Not a
put,
Canadian.
let him know so he can read it? He's looking on the phone.
Dear,
Oh,
dear,
I
dear,
do.
dear.
Or you might know Brian. Hi, Brian.
Yeah, I tell you what, I will find that for you.
Hi.
I'm not going to let this one beat me.
Okay.
Good
Oh,
gosh.
hello. Anyway. Hello.
Was it Haymarket, right?
No,
There.
it's someone we've just done recently.
Yay.
Okay. Uncle Watson's widow?
Yay. We haven't done that one yet.
No, but we are about
Yeah,
to
we
begin.
will.
Yeah. No, what, Barbara?
Alrighty.
Getting to hear this history of Brice Street and Barry coming back is wonderful. Oh, it is my being a fan showing. Yes, Terry, kind of. In big neon letters. It really is, my friend. Terry Van Cannon's saying to me, getting to hear this history of Brice Street and Barry coming back is wonderful. He goes, oh, is my being a fan showing? So I kind of think so.
Yeah.
I'll give my thanks tomorrow.
Yeah, give him a poke in the eye for me too, won't you?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Has he got a bobblehead yet?
Yeah, have you got one of his bobbleheads yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, look, get him to show you his one. You know, he got one made.
Yeah.
Absolutely cool.
He's a real entrepreneur.
Yeah. Believe me. I tell you what, huge on that lap steel though, isn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Stunning.
He's mentioned a couple of times to us. I think a year or two ago, we play some Jackson Browne songs, and he's a big David Lindley fan, and so he suggested a couple of times that we might do a show together where we just do a whole set of Jackson Browne and let him play lap steel. I think it'd be a great idea.
Oh, well, it's booked.
I tell you what, if you do that,
There,
film
Terry.
it, send me a copy. I'd love to see that
It's
myself.
booked.
Oh yeah, okay, man.
Really would. Let's go
Something
back
else
to the
for you
disc.
to do.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. It is completely 23 minutes away from midday lunchtime. Yeah, it is. 21 degrees. I win. I'm going to take it out for the rest of the weekend. Absolutely love that. Excuse me. Now, Friday, by the way, May 28th. For you guys over the other side of the world, it's tomorrow. Right now. Playing tomorrow's music today, by the way. And today we're joined by Jack from the band Brice Street. Now, Jack, you guys have been around for a minute now. Let's cast our mind right on back to when you first put it together. What was your intention back then? Was it a pub band? Was it a garage band? Was it a band that you could see was going to be everlasting for decades and decades and decades? Did you expect it to last this long?
I didn't think I'd live this long.
Well, that makes one of you.
Yeah. There had been a rock band here in Greensboro called Partly Cloudy, and they split up in '73, just kind of petered out. Individuals went off pursuing their own interest. After about a year, the bass player, who is our bass player now, Doug Dennis, approached me about starting a new band, and he was going to bring on board two of the other guys that had been in Partly Cloudy. It had been a 5-piece band, so 3 of those guys and me, and we recruited Barry from University of North Carolina at Greensboro. He was going to school with Doug, and so I knew those other guys, but I didn't know Barry. And Doug brought us all together, and we started playing, and we really just started with really no plan other than to play music that we really liked. And this was in '74, so we liked Steely Dan, we liked Bruce Springsteen, we liked Jackson Brown. That was the heyday of sort of FM, not your FM, but that FM radio, alternative kind of stuff before it became taken over by corporations. But we just started playing, and we loved the Beatles, played a lot of Beatles, a lot of Beach Boys, did long medleys of both those bands, and just started hitting the college towns in the Southeast, Chapel Hill, Richmond, Virginia, beach towns in North Carolina and stuff like that. And just at that point happened to hit the sweet spot with what people going to the clubs wanted to hear. And all those college kids were listening to FM radio, and we were playing those songs. And we went along like that for 5 or 6 years. Then, as I said, Barry started bringing in songs, and I started bringing in songs, and another member, Steve Coble, he brought in some songs. And we decided that we would, let's try to find a way to make a record. So we had a manager that ran one of the clubs that we played at a lot in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and he managed to wrangle a record deal with what was then at least regional, if not national. I'm not sure how far they went. It was a record chain called the Record Bar. It was owned by a guy named Barry Bergman, who passed away in the last year or so, rest in peace. And they decided to start a record label, and we got signed, and we made our first 2 albums on those, and they sold fairly well down here in the Southeast. But as I said, we never picked up a national distributor or record company, so it just kind of fizzled out. So that was that's a thumbnail sketch at the beginning and the end of the first chapter of the band.
Okay, so when does the book come out?
The book.
Not a silly question, actually, because believe me, a number of artists that I've been talking to lately, do you remember the band Autograph?
No.
Turn Up the Radio.
No.
Okay, well, okay. Literally a very, very famous band in its own right. Steve Lynch, the former lead guitarist, just about to release his book very, very shortly, you know what I mean? And a couple of other artists that we were talking to as well, involved in several kind of different book deals as well. So, you know, I can see a book in here, you know what I mean?
Well, now you planted the seed, it's going to start growing in me, I guess.
Well, you know, depending on, well, I've planted the seed. Now it's up to you to farm that and see what comes out of it. Because believe me, this is an interesting story. You know, I'm absolutely fascinated with the history of Brice Street. I really, really am. Roy Brown, thank you very much. We gave it pride of place. We really, really did. He's talking about the flag, of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Terry Van Cannon has made us honorary North Carolinians, so we had to hang it in the right place.
Okay.
There you go. Hold on, what do we got here? Terry Van Cannon says, Jack is humble. Back in the day when Brice Street did Beatles, Beach Boys, Bruce Springsteen, Steely Dan, Jackson Brown, etc., you could close your eyes and you would think you were listening to the original. Believe me, I get it. I do. Because I can hear the quality as an engineer in what we have today, which makes it one of me. Now, tell me about One of You.
That's another song that Barry wrote, and actually, gosh, I first liked the music a lot. Barry obviously, or not, maybe not so obviously, but probably obviously, is heavily influenced by Donald Fagen and Steely Dan. And Barry was a music composition major, so he's interested in making the music interesting, in harmonic changes, etc., key changes in the song. And the lyrics I thought were sort of ambiguous. Barry and I had a talk with him. I said, I really don't know what this song's about. It sounds like kind of about one thing, kind of about another. And can you change? He changed some of the lyrics, and I've talked to him again about it, and I'm not sure. We did another radio interview where he did intros to the songs and kind of touched on it, but I think he was trying to get at something about reincarnation and maybe the possibility that life on Earth originated from another planet.
Why not? Why? I mean, seriously, why not? I mean,
sort of a Prometheus theme, the movie.
Totally.
The Ridley Scott movie. I don't know.
You know what? I like that man's mind.
Barry's a very sci-fi, science-oriented kind of guy, and a great engineer and mixer and master.
I knew there was something out there that attracted me, not only to his work and how he works. Now I got the backstory. I'm liking this. I really, really am. You're right here at Galaxy with, of course, we're joined by Jack from Brice Street coming out of North Carolina. Here's One of You. Talking of space stuff, scientists today, they're out there looking for that planet in the Goldilocks system, right?
Yeah.
Thing is, we have, as human beings, taken it upon ourselves to name these planets. And the moons that they have as well. True, if you think about it, we haven't asked the residents of these planets whether we can do it or not, but we've done that. But more importantly, we give the moons a name as well. Now, here's something to think about. Ours is called Moon. Can't we rename this and give it something real? I mean, Moon. Yay, we know it's a moon, right? It's a satellite that goes on. Yeah, come on. I reckon you see, I want to rename the moon, Jack. I do.
All right.
And I think Celestial Body Brian sounds really cool.
Okay.
Hey, listen, it would look good on a check, wouldn't it?
How are you going to get all the votes?
How am I going to get all the votes?
Yeah, you just can't
I
change.
talk to people like this and they agree with me. Before you know it, I've got an army.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I see your point.
Scientists around the world will be left with no choice. I will lead a whole world full of people going, yeah, let's name it Brian.
Why not?
Jack, have you ever tried vegan sausages?
Making
Well,
what?
Brian
Vegan
Smith,
sausages.
wouldn't you
No,
just
no,
love
I've
the
never
moon
heard
to
of
be
that.
called after
You've
you?
never tried a vegan sausage?
Oh, a vegan sausage.
Yeah.
Not a vegan sausage. I've tried vegan hamburgers.
Oh, okay. Are they made of real vegans?
They're made of vegetables.
Okay, I take your point.
No, well, seriously, I'm trying to find out. I was disappointed when I found out that Girl Guide biscuits weren't made of Girl Guides.
Because pork sausages are made of pork and beef and
Oh,
Baby oil is not made of real babies either, apparently. I thought there was about 3 fat ones per bottle, but no, apparently not. But tell me this, if 2 vegans go out on a Friday night for a few drinks, end up fighting in the car park, is it still termed as having a beef? Just something to think about.
you're an astute critical thinker, Grant.
Oh, believe me. Just imagine this, if your knees could bend in the opposite direction.
Oh, ouch.
No, but seriously, if they could, imagine how interesting chairs would be.
Well, he's a physiotherapist. So
Yeah, he's a physiotherapist, there you go. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. It is actually 11 away from 12 o'clock midday lunchtime, 19 degrees. It's gone back again, doesn't matter. I won that one. I'm going to take it out for the rest of the weekend. Absolutely love that. Friday, May 28th. And today we learnt that 2 dead. Early morning crash in Waikato this morning. Not a good day for the roads, I've got to be honest with you. But the good day is that we're talking to Jack, coming out of North Carolina from the band Brice Street. And believe me, I absolutely love this. I really, really do. Different kind of feel of band for me today. It really is. And Jack, what made you want to take this kind of genre on? I mean, there's a huge amount of different kinds of genres that you could choose from, but this, I think, absolutely fits your style. You know what I mean? What made you choose this?
I don't know. I think the recording is very eclectic. I think there are a lot of influences there, and I think I'll speak for Barry and myself. Once you sit down and start putting something together, sometimes it's just poking around on the keyboard or the guitar, and you go, "Oh, that sounds good," and you keep that in your head, and then you might wake up in the middle of the night and be humming it back to yourself, and then all of a sudden you come up with 2 or 3 more chords, and you go, "Oh, that works, that fits together." And I think a lot of times when you do that, or when I do that, I'm probably at least subconsciously following some sort of agreeable pattern that I've ingrained in my head from the things I've listened to. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. It really, really does. Now, at the same time, it's a kind of surreal time right now with this COVID virus going on, and I presume that you're doing all that is feasible to stay safe within yourselves and each and every band member. So therefore, I kind of feel that you're not doing a lot of shows right now. Are you doing more writing? Are you doing more recording right now?
Barry has 2 new songs he's going to bring in. Where I'm kind of thinking, I've got 2 or 3 in the works. And in the not too far back in my head, I'm thinking hopefully, I'd like to look at January or February of next year at maybe having another something like an EP, under our arms that we can start working with. Maybe 6 songs, 5 or 6 songs, instead of waiting for another 10. Or something like that. But as far as playing live, we have some offers to, you guys want to come to play? We're going, yeah, but we actually just started rehearsing again last week to to learn how to play this record. It's like it's a 4-piece band. There's a lot going on in some of those songs, and we got to figure out how to make it sound right before we want to go out and present it to everybody, because we're very happy with the way the record turned out. We're happy with the way we're more than happy with the way it sounds, and we don't want to disappoint. So we're focused on that right now, rehearsing.
The ace in your sleeve literally is you've actually got the recording engineer in the band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Believe me, I've had so many different bands around the world say to me, Grant, tour with us. You recorded us, you know what we're about, tour with us, be our front of house. Done it a number of times, I got to admit. But it's a great secret to have, is to use that engineer. He knows everything, literally.
Yeah.
Every little thing that you need to have on cue when it's there. And, of course, Barry's that. So that's the secret as well. And I applaud you for that, because there's not too many bands out there that actually figure that one out too early. You know what I mean?
Well, it took us a long time.
Happens.
47 years.
It happens, it really does. Now, talking about touring at the same time, and talking about this COVID virus, we don't kind of think that it's going to last forever and a day. Yeah, let's be honest, it's going to clean up sooner or later. Right now, here in New Zealand, for instance, we have none in the community, maybe a handful in managed isolation, but other than that, we're doing okay. We can actually have concerts as long as they're internal at this point. But a little whisper in the wind right now is we might be looking at opening ourselves up to the rest of the world by about November, December, maybe January, you know what I mean? Now, Barbara is the manager of a entertainment company called Aurora Entertainments, where we bring bands into the country, tour them up and down the countryside. We do the logistics, all that sort of stuff. All it is basically, at the end of the day, we kind of make it far more user-friendly for the bands coming into the country. Instead of dealing with a half a dozen different companies and stuff like that, we take care of everything in one package.
Gotcha.
Would you be interested, once we open up our borders, of coming and playing in New Zealand?
I would love to. It would. That's such an astounding offer or thought, that I think I'd have to talk to everybody in the band, but gosh, what an opportunity! I mean, that would be amazing. Off the top of my head, I would say we'd love to, but again, I got to check with everybody first.
Totally understand that, I really, really do. But at the same time, and I'm pleased you mentioned the Lord of the Rings, because about an hour and a half drive from this office where we are right now is actually Middle Earth, Hobbiton, the original set, and we could take you there and show you around and, show you.
Oh.
Well, actually, the rest of the staff can. I'm not allowed back in.
I'd be over the moon.
Well, I'll tell you what, I might even be able to do one better for you. I might be able to get Pete on the phone, and he can show us around himself if you...
Your old schoolmate.
Yeah, you bribe money, you know what I mean? He'll make sure that I shut up.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on, I've got a band, I want you to meet, show them around. Otherwise, I'll tell them, no.
You know where the skeletons are buried.
Oh, believe me, I've got photos. I do, I really do. I'll have to hunt those ones out. But wow, that actually reminded me of, I actually have a shoebox full of photos of Peter Jackson. Hidden somewhere, I really do. I'll have to go and find them. Mm.
Safe at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, it's safe at the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, no, I think they're in the attic. Actually, I do. To be very honest with you, now
Secrets to the plants and the animals.
having said that, Jack, we're kind of crazy down here in New Zealand. We're a little different. You know what I mean? If you're going to come to the Antipodes, well, you know, the indigenous folks of New Zealand, being the Maori, actually have some cultural stuff that they kind of present to people, if you know what I mean. And, well, we're New Zealanders. We are no different when it comes down to laying down a challenge or two. Are you up for a couple of challenges?
Sure.
Nice, I like that. Have you ever heard of a hoo-hoo grub?
A hoo-hoo grub.
Yeah.
Never.
Okay, you're familiar with a caterpillar, right?
Yes.
Okay, no, not, this is big, this is wide, it's like a double-decker bus to a mini, actually, I've got to be honest. And what you do, and it is a delicacy of the indigenous folks of New Zealand, is you put the live body in your mouth, rip off the head, don't eat the head, it's yucky, but when you crunch down on this, look at the look, it's like eating,
Well, that's the lucky part.
yeah, it's like eating creamy peanut butter.
Okay.
I'll get Barbara to send you the instructional video, so, you know, just to make sure that, you know, I'm not pulling your leg. We do actually do it.
I'm sure it's a great source of protein.
Now, you mentioned Lord of the Rings. You know a little bit about New Zealand. What, do you know much about New Zealand?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I hate to say it.
Let me fill you in here. Now, this comes back into naming things again very, very shortly, but we're made up of 3 islands. Right down the very bottom is a little island called Stewart. Yes, it got a name, right? But whoever, you know, named New Zealand run out of imagination right after naming Stewart. It must, you know, a hard night at the pub or something, we'll name this one Stewart, and then, well, South was...
What's my dog's name?
Yeah, well, it is too. Well, actually, is it? Well, isn't it a mouse's name?
Yes.
I don't know.
Stuart Little?
Stuart Little?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah, it's named after a mouse. How's that? They must have been at the pub or something like that, because the next one came up was South Island. Yay.
It took a lot of thought.
Yep, well, you know, maybe a jug or two later, they named the other one North Island. Not South Part 2, something like that. You know, after a couple of nights at the pub, maybe South Part 2 might have sounded good too. But I want to rename them. I really, really do. I think it's a great idea because, you know, South and North, come on, we can come up with something better than that. But the indigenous folks of New Zealand, the Maori, have given it the whole deal one name called Aotearoa, which stands for the land of the long white cloud. And even on a good day, it can be cloudy if you're flying above it. You know what I mean?
I understand the English.
Me too. Me too. Even though I can speak the te reo, the indigenous language, I can speak it, understand it, all that sort of thing. I prefer English as well. I really can. That way people can laugh at my accent. They do. You can understand my accent, can't you?
Yeah, everybody here got a big kick out of Jick. The people, the first little radio clips of you guys playing our stuff, I was going, I love it when they say Jick and Weir and Tear.
Well, I don't know what Jack is, but Weir and Tear is right here, coming up very, very shortly. It is. But in the meantime, we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
We're actually, somebody asked me, he says, you guys are upside down there in New Zealand, aren't you? And I went, no, I still have to look up to see the roof. Seriously, he did. Are you familiar with Australia?
I mean, in very general terms, you know, I'm from the U.S., we're very
We know.
geocentric, you know, we think we're the center of the universe, which is bullshit, but, you know,
We will
Anyway.
be.
Gosh,
We
I
will
thought you
be.
were actually, but okay, fair enough. I've been put right on that one. But Australia and New Zealand, we have this love-hate kind of relationship, you know, like good neighbours should do. Maybe like the Americans and the Canadians in an ice hockey kind of deal. We have a rugby union kind of thing, which is another kind of sport altogether. Gridiron without pads and helmets.
Okay.
No passing forward though. We're only allowed to pass backwards.
Ah.
Yeah,
Well, we don't have
yeah,
to.
Well,
no,
I'm out of the world, so.
yeah. Even though we have forwards in the game, you know, but we're only allowed to pass backwards. It comes forwards and backwards. Well, it gets sometimes it can confuse people with explaining the rules, really. But you never know. Anyway, we have this love-hate kind of deal, and I was talking to an Australian not so long ago, actually, who literally was brought up in the outback with kangaroos bouncing around his backyard, front yard, all going to school, you know, all sorts of things. And I says to him, so okay, why can't kangaroos bounce backwards? He goes, can't they?
Maybe the tail gets in the way. I don't
That's
know.
exactly it. The tail won't let them. Yeah, absolutely. But he's been living there for, gosh, about 27 years. He goes, can't they?
Oh. Okay.
Really? I mean, they got a can of beer over there. One of the very first cans I ever got when I went to Australia. This barmaid hands me a can that's got 4 X's on it. Went, can't spell beer. Gosh, fun people they are, absolutely. But having said that, I used to play rugby league over there for Sydney, actually, many years ago, Canterbury Bankstown. In the meantime, we are in the middle of nowhere here in New Zealand. We're actually here in the North Island, over on the East Coast. In fact, pretty much middle of nowhere. So I'm going to ask Jack to explain, how did we get in the middle of the nowhere?
Yeah, I wrote that one. And Barry co-wrote that. I had the verses and the chorus, not the chorus. I had the verses, the transition parts, the bridge. I was never happy with the chorus I came up with, and I had all the lyrics. The lyrics were actually from another completely different song, musically, and the Middle of Nowhere started out being called A Matter of Time, and I couldn't make those lyrics work. I couldn't make them work. And so I went, what about the ones from this song that I haven't finished the music for? So I brought those lyrics over and started massaging them and shaping them into the song, and came up with something I was happy with. And then gave it to Barry and said, I'm not happy with the chorus. Here's what I want to sing in the chorus. He came up with something that, this was a good example of going back and forth writing a song together. He would make it, to me, too long and too complicated. And I would say, it's too long, it's too complicated. Make it shorter, and he would come back and give me something else. And then there was one lyric phrase I didn't like that he had put in there, the way he'd done it rhythmically, and I changed that, and then we put that together, and I went, that sounds good. And so then I said, that's it, we're going to finish it. And then at the end, I said, I guess we'll just fade out with guitar solo. And he said, no, there's a lot of guitar on this record already. I want to play some piano. So the outgoing part of the song, which I think is about the last minute and 45 seconds, is totally Barry's creation, except for the 2 underlying chords. It's just 2 chords underlying the whole thing, but all the little pieces he put in, 100% Barry, and he did a great job.
I got to let you know, it's averaging about 1,000 requests at the moment. Believe me, we have been getting a few people following you since we've been playing you. Now,
Thank you.
The reason I'm letting you know this is literally, we started off playing Brice Street Band without saying a thing. Literally, we didn't say anything. And people wanted to know more about you guys. Who, what, when, where, how, and when we're doing the interviews. So believe me, that was a big factor in doing this. But there's 1,012 requests for the middle of nowhere at this point, and it's climbing. So that's not bad. That's not bad.
That's I'm thrilled.
It's only going to get better, Jack. It really is. So you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, joined live from by Jack from the Brice Street Band out of North Carolina, here at Galaxy, the middle of nowhere. So how you feeling, my friend?
Doing pretty good.
Nice, nice. Believe me, I think I need a physiotherapist after this. My back's killing me. Oh, dear. Oh, it's just this ugly chair I sit in. It hates me.
It's all your old injuries.
It's an old war injury. Aye, lass.
Yeah.
It is actually. I had a motorcycle accident when I was about 17 years of age and spent 2 years in hospital learning how to walk again, all sorts of bits.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think it was about 9 months I spent in and out of body casts. I really did a good job. I did. Plastic kneecap. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wrote myself off. And of course, back in those days, I was on a, I don't know, do you remember the brand Triumph?
Oh yeah, Triumph motorcycles.
Okay, well I had a Triumph Bonneville fully chopperized.
All right.
Right, and I'm going up through this windy forestry hill in the middle of snow. All right,
Oh.
and I come to this corner,
South
I'm a South Island, I'm a
Yeah.
Kiwi, you know, yeah, country boy. Come to this corner, a bit noisier than I should have, to be honest. Being a full rake on the thing, you got to take wider corners, and I hit black ice and skidded right off the road until I got to the gravel on the side where it bit sat up and hit the only tree on the corner.
Damn.
Bounced
Damn.
off that, went down 150 feet into a dry riverbed with literally boulders the size of houses, with my bike landing on top of me. My God, I hurt. I really did a number.
You're lucky to be alive.
True story is, the guy that I was with, he was on a Suzuki, and he went blasting off ahead of me because he could, you know. He got to the pub where we were supposed to meet, and he's sitting there for 2 hours going, where is he? So he got on his bike, went looking for me. He says, Grant, I never would have seen you if it wasn't for your headlamp shining up into the sky.
Wow.
That was the only thing that caught my attention, was the headlight. He went and back to the pub. They called in the Air Force from Christchurch in a helicopter. These guys come out of the, all I could see was this light with snow flowing around it like a big tunnel, and I see these guys in fluoro outfits coming out with white hats on. I thought I was dead. Oh shit, they've come to get me. We're going to the light.
Wow, that's an amazing story. Wow.
True story, it really happened.
I'll have to tell that one tomorrow at work.
You're a survivor.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, literally. Stupid things you do when you're young.
Yeah.
Well, you made
We knew that we shouldn't have been riding that night anyway. We knew it. We even discussed it. But we went anyway.
Well, you're indestructible when you're that age, right?
Oh, 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found out how bulletproof I was. It cost me 2 years in hospital.
Wow.
I went through several doctors saying, you'll never walk again. You'll never walk without a limp. You'll never walk unassisted. You'll never walk this way. You'll never walk that way. And then I met a young lady who was a physiotherapist, a little Asian girl, and she says, you've got to come and meet my dad. And I went, what, you're taking me home? She goes, yeah, I'm taking you home, but you're going to meet my dad. He was an instructor in Tai Chi.
Okay.
And he taught me balance and everything for about 5 years. And
Wow.
that was the
Yeah.
biggest favour I've ever had in my life.
That's wonderful.
You're right, here at Galaxy at 107 FM, 12 after 12 o'clock. It is 17 degrees downtown. Not bad, actually, to be very honest with you. It doesn't really matter now because I've already won. No more competition. I'm just hanging a badge right there saying, I beat Barbara. Never mind. I beat the weatherman. Yeah, it is Friday, May 28th, and absolutely elated to have everybody along this morning, including Jack from the band Brice Street, coming out of North Carolina. Believe me, it's absolutely fascinating talking to Jack and learning more about the band, more about the origins of the band, more about the people behind the scenes and who's making the music. Literally, it is absolutely spot on right now. Well, he kind of likes the way I say wear and tear as well, which I think is cool.
Nice try.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, you guys say things differently to us, as you may have picked up that we do say things a little different. Like, you guys say, for instance, aluminum, right?
And you say aluminium?
Aluminium, yeah, absolutely.
I think you added an extra syllable in there.
There you go.
I was going for British pronunciation.
Yeah.
Aluminium.
No, we're Kiwis. We Kiwify everything. It's like jandals, which to you guys are flip-flops.
What did you say?
Jandals.
I still don't get it.
Jandals.
I think those up there.
Well,
yeah.
you'll get a copy of what we're doing right now. You really will. Here. Jandals.
Oh, sandals.
Sandals.
Okay, well, most of the Americans I talk to say, oh, flip-flops.
Oh, flip-flops. Yeah. Same, almost the same thing.
Yeah, well, in Australia, they called a thong.
Okay.
Now, I'm trying to figure out how many Australian women wear those.
Because we call it a thong.
Yeah, we know what we call a thong here in New Zealand, and they ain't put on your feet.
Yeah.
No, not here either.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, if you do come to New Zealand, well, have you ever heard of a zorb?
No,
A
he
what?
wouldn't do
A
that.
zorb.
He wouldn't do
Z-O-R-B.
No.
Okay, this is really cool, actually. May I suggest plenty of alcohol, you know,
you won't be
before,
doing that.
mostly afterwards, I've got to be honest. Some try during, but that's rather interesting in its own right. But it's a big, clear plastic ball that we put you into and roll you down a hill.
Oh, I've seen that, but I didn't know it was called a zorb.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
we get runners in front of you, human skittles this time, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And the reason why I say plenty of alcohol, well, you know, when you run over their faces, the looks are priceless. They really are. But don't worry about togs or anything like that. I've got a mankini that you can have.
You should see him too,
A
man.
what?
What a
mankini.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have the
It's not a pretty
Oh,
look, I
believe
can
me,
tell you.
I've got plenty. You can have any colour
he's
as
got
long as it's
plenty,
in
all
fluoro so that we can see you in the dark as well. Literally. But I got to be honest with you, we tortured, literally, where are we going to put our logo?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, exactly. We found a place. We found a place
On the
with
bib.
just enough
On the
material to be able to get it in there. Yeah, it was actually on the back with the straps, mate. Gotcha. It really is. That fools people, it really does. They think something else.
I've got a
No, that's where I hide my safety pin. Literally.
Behave yourself.
Well, you know, it all comes down to wear and tear at the end of the day, doesn't it?
Oh.
Good segue. Tell me about it.
I wrote that one. It was very musically very different than it turned out. It was the demo I brought in. I didn't feel like the band was impressed. Yeah, I thought they felt like I don't know if we want to do that song that way. And so I'm pretty easygoing, and I said, well, look, I like the lyric. I think I did a great job on the lyrics. You know, pat myself on the back. It says what I want to say about what it's personal and it's global, and so I said, well, you want to do it a little slower? Yeah, let's do it a little slower. do you want to make it? It started out as a 2-guitar, bass and drums rock song, and then Barry said, I don't want to play guitar too, let me play organ. So I said, okay, and we just kind of started hammering out the recording in the studio, and Barry really pulled it together. One of the interesting things about that recording, and a lot of the recording, is this was during the pandemic, and Jack King, our guitar player, was actually recording most of his stuff at his house on his own digital audio workstation, and he would send those WAV files to Barry. We would Dropbox them back and forth. Barry, he would cut 10 or 12 takes. Barry would take them and just start cutting them and sticking them in there until we got something that we agreed upon. And now Jack's having to go back and learn the record because he never played it like that.
I love that. I really do. And much respect to Barry, really. You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, joined live by Jack from the band Brice Street, coming out of North Carolina. Here's Wear and Tear on Galaxy. How you feeling, bro? You okay?
Good. Do I have time to run and get a drink?
You do. You do.
Okay, quick one.
Go for it, bro.
See, he did need a drink.
He did need a drink, yes. Absolutely. I just dehydrate people when they talk to me.
Do you think he's behaving himself, everyone?
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Behaving myself. I'm on my best behaviour.
Yeah. I don't believe you, though.
Don't you?
No.
Oh, I think I'm on my best behaviour. I am.
Yeah.
I'm being nice.
Look at the horns growing.
You leave my horns out of this.
Yeah. Up under the cap.
Careful you don't trip up over your halo.
My halo. Hello? My halo.
Hey, Roy.
You're giving me stick, guys.
Oh, yeah, you give us, so we have to give some back sometimes, you know.
So what? Thank you very, very much. Just what I need.
You found a good one before.
I was doing a what?
I found a good one before.
Did you? Where'd you put it?
Oh, the dog took it.
Ah. What are we talking about?
Stick.
Stick. Right.
Gosh, it's quiet.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
he's back.
Yay!
Cheers.
Cheers.
What is it?
It's 8:30 here almost, yeah.
8:30. Oh, hey, listen, it's time to break out the hard stuff.
Yeah, let's little vodka and grape juice.
Oh, nice, nice. I knew I would get you drinking sooner or later.
Yeah, have anything to do with you, it's all my problem.
Yeah, believe me, unfortunately, I drive people to drink. I really do. Yep. Almost everybody I ever talked to is, by the end of it, they're sucking on a glass of some sort.
He's a
We had
local
one guy.
taxi. He's a local taxi, that's why.
We had one guy that was sucking on a mason jar, right? And we were saying to the guy, I hope that's what I think it is. And he goes, nah, it's water.
Oh.
Well,
It was
apparently.
yesterday.
Yeah, exactly, yesterday.
Yes.
Apparently, everything. They just don't think about it. We'll just suck on a jar. We don't have glasses. We don't have cups. We don't have mugs. No, we got a mason jar.
Yeah, we don't drink out of
We
those.
put pickles in those.
Yeah, we
Preserves.
don't drink out of them.
Coming
We
from
drink out of a
North
glass.
Carolina, I would expect it to be white lightning.
Yeah, well, I would too, you know, but no, it was, you know, H2O.
He was from Ottawa.
We're going to wrap it up right now, bro, but don't go anywhere just yet. And you will get a copy of everything we've done today. Whether you want to watch it again or not, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't, actually.
No, it's been wonderful. I can't thank you enough for the whole experience.
Absolute pleasure. It's an honour for me. It really, really is. So let's do this, and don't go anywhere after this. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. And now, before we wrap this up, is it Atkinson?
It's Atchison.
Okay, well, I'm staying with my version.
Okay, yeah, but there's only one N, and it's at the end.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll allow that. You see, I usually use people's full names all the way through it, but I've been sort of tongue-tied with this one, so I thought I'd wait until the end and just clarify it for everybody. Believe me, Jack, it has been an absolute honour to talk to you today.
I'm honored. It's been a pleasure, and we're very grateful for your support. Thank you so much.
It is an absolute honour to be able to play your music here at Galaxy. It really is. Just one more question before we go, though. I got the impression, yes, you're recording more stuff. You're looking at releasing an EP in the near future. Will you come back again for another interview? Will you release new stuff with us?
Oh, of course. You kidding? We'd love it.
That's fantastic, my friend, because we would love to be able to keep Brice Street rolling here at Galaxy. We really, really would. We absolutely love your music. Love Barry's work as well. Please give him a pat on the back for me because I'm a big fan. And Terry Van Cannon, you've knocked it out of the park again, my friend. You really have. Nice to have that one. Got to wish you luck too, by the way, on Jorg's World, forthcoming. Believe me, Jorg is a very good friend of mine coming out of Germany, and I know he's going to treat you with respect. I've already had a talk to him. He's a great guy. He really is. But in the meantime, for those of you that are going to be watching this a little later on over on YouTube, you know what to do, right? Yeah, sub, thumb, bell, bingo, get it done. See you in the future. But in the meantime, you're right here at Galaxy. Good morning.